So when I do a Gua Sha session, the first thing you want to do first is to warm up the tissue first. You don't want to go in first scraping because that would be very uncomfortable for the client. So you want to make sure that when you do get this done, is to make sure that the therapist warm up your muscles first, because again, it would be very uncomfortable to get this Gua Sha done and then the client is cringing in the face cradle. So you just want to make sure that the client is comfortable first. You go over everything, the client goes over everything with the therapist, asks questions in regards to what to expect during the session, and then the therapist should be able to explain as well. So that way everybody is on the same accord when getting this session done. You also want to make sure that the therapist is in good communication with you, checking in every so often to make sure that the client is comfortable, because again, at first it could be a little uncomfortable at first, but once you get to opening up, loosening up the muscles, then it becomes a little, you know, the sessions become a little bit easier to take. So I'm going to go in and start scraping on you. The hamstrings is a very, very sensitive muscle. So of course you don't want to have the therapist going straight in hard, because the hamstring is a very, very, very sensitive muscle. So what I'm doing, I'm easing in into my client's hamstring. So what is Gua Sha? Just like I explained in my post a while back, Gua Sha is basically breaking up the muscle tissue and the adhesions, which is the knots that you feel in your muscles. And it's like a form of cupping. When you're scraping, the skin gets red. So when the skin gets red, that's blood flow coming to the surface, which is a good thing, because that's what you want. And it helps to alleviate any pain, any adhesions, any muscle tension that you may have in your shoulders, neck, hamstring, whatever you may have it scraped at. So I notice as I'm scraping my client, it's a little sensitive on the lateral side and also on the medial side of his hamstring. So I'm not going as heavy. I'm just basically just trying to just warm up the tissue. And just with the little scraping that I've done, I can feel that the muscle has gotten looser. But again, I'm going according to my client's tolerance in regards to being scraped. I'm not just going in just randomly just scraping really, really hard, but I'm taking my time going in scraping. This can be very, very uncomfortable. And again, you want to definitely be in communication with your therapist, and also the therapist should be in communication with the client as well. You okay?
All right.
Just a little scraping that I've done, I feel the muscle has loosened up a whole lot. And I noticed that my client is not really moving as much because the muscle has loosened up. And so I can tell that it's not as uncomfortable at first because, again, like I mentioned before, the hamstrings are a very sensitive muscle. So again, and it's also a weak muscle too of the body, one of the weakest muscles of the body. So you definitely need to know, the therapist needs to know their muscles and know which ones are sensitive, and explain that to the client so that way the client can understand what to look forward to when they have this done. So over here, when my client is kind of squinching a little bit, it's sensitive on the lateral side of the hamstring. So I'm not going as heavy as I was doing on the medial part. So I'm just going a little light right here. If you have any questions, you can always leave a comment, or you can send me an email, or you can text me if you have any additional questions on Gua Sha. Again, Gua Sha, Ga means scrape, Sha means redness. Gua Sha is just a form of scraping the skin to help loosen up pain, muscle tension, adhesions, and create blood flow to the surface. So I'm going to conclude this session, and you guys have a good day.